Hi, welcome to my page. My name is Debbie from Create Pretty Things. And if you don't see the live red button up at the top, that means you're watching the replay. Please comment #replay so that I know that you watched. Tonight's keyword to get all the supplies is Medallion, Medallion. If you type that into the comments, check your messenger, you will receive a link that will give you all the products that I used. Everything was chocolate torte except for this board that I'm going to be using tonight. This is a pretty large surface. This is called a large wall dry erase board. I got it on clearance at Hobby Lobby a couple weeks ago, and I just thought that it would be great for chalking on. Of course, if I see anything with a flat surface, I always consider it as a project. One thing about it is it has a plexiglass board on the top, which means that this transfer is going to stick really, really, really well. So I want to make sure that I fuzz it. If you haven't seen our transfers before, this is one of our, I believe it's a D, almost one of our largest. It is reusable. It has silk screen for the paste to go through, and it is sticky on the back, which will allow for many, many uses of the transfer. The first thing we're going to do is I want to mark the back of the backer, just so that I know which is the shiny side, the side to stick the transfer back on at the end and which is not. I'm going to go ahead and peel up this transfer carefully because it is a large transfer. And what I'm going to do is fold it over halfway, place my fuzzing cloth down on it, smooth it down, and lift it a few times. Did you guys see how much that was sticking? It's a pretty sticky transfer. So when I add this cloth to my transfer, it's called fuzzing, and what it's actually doing is trying to add some fuzz to the back of this transfer so that it doesn't stick quite so hard to my surface. You want to be able to pull it up without the transfer stretching and without you harming the surface down below. So you want to make sure it's fuzzed really well, and especially since this is a smooth, shiny surface, I know it's going to stick pretty good. So fuzz it just 5 or 6 times on this one, just to make sure it'll pull up easily. Okay, I've done half of it. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull off the other half and do the same exact thing to it. And I'm just kind of doing half at a time because I've had experience with this where the transfers fold over on themselves and they get stuck. And while you can usually get those apart after that happens, it's not always easy. And so it's better, you're better off preventing that from happening, taking the precautions not to have it stick to itself. So 5 or 6 times on this side as well, just to be prepared so that we have an easier time removing that transfer from our surface when we're done with our project. Okay, that should be good. And I do have one big fuzz ball right here. I'm going to get that off. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and save my backer sheet because I'm going to need it at the end. So this is our transfer. It's just a beautiful pattern. I'm going to lay it right in the middle of my surface. You know what, guys? I think it could be fuzzed a little more. It is sticky. So you don't want anything as far as fuzz, big pieces of fuzz around the silk screen area, because that will prevent the paste from going through onto the surface below. Okay, let's give it another try. I'm going to try and center this. And these can be repositioned because they are sticky. It's a little bit crooked. Straighten it up just a little bit. When you lay this down, make sure that you don't have any air bubbles on it. Just really smooth it out. If there's air bubbles around the silk screen, your paste is going to leak out underneath it, and it will prevent it from getting those nice crisp lines that we want. So I think that's pretty well centered and even. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the chalking process. How are you guys doing tonight? Did you guys have a good Monday? It's like midsummer here, and we did get some rain here in Arizona and Tucson, so I'm very excited about that. We needed it very, very badly. We're going to use several colors of paste in our project tonight. This first one is called Shimmer Plum. All of our shimmers are beautiful. They have a little bit of shine and shimmer to them. I'm going to put this right in the middle of my medallion here. That's going to be my center point of my design tonight. When you're using this chalk paste, you want to make sure that it is a consistency of sour cream or yogurt. If it's not, you can add some distilled water. Mix up really, really well. And try again. Don't really want to have any lumps. Now I use just a little bit. I'm using my squeegee. I'm going to put what remains on my squeegee back in that paste jar. I'm going to get a different squeegee. You can clean off the one squeegee and just keep using it, but I use a different one. This one is one of our new colors. It's called Moss. This is one of our new Christmas colors for the autumn release. And it's kind of an olive green. I'm going to do that next on these little, I might go to a smaller squeegee for this actually. I'm going to use it for these little dots that resemble seeds or ferns next to the centerpiece of this. Now what I'm using now is still a squeegee, but it is a small squeegee or a mini squeegee cut in half. So feel free to cut these in half if you don't have a size that is working for you. Okay, now this paste does dry very quickly, and you want to peel it up while it's wet. So I'm going to do something called the paste and peel method. I've done a little bit of paste in the center. Let me wipe my hands on something. I'm going to go ahead and peel up this transfer just a little bit to release that paste from my transfer to the surface below. So this is what it looks like at this point. Now notice I did get a little bit of green right here where I didn't want it. I'm just going to wipe that right off. Depending on the surface, you can let it dry and then wipe it off. But at this point, it's just easier for me to wipe it off while it's wet. I'm going to go ahead and hit this with my quick dry tool just to get it dry, because I'm going to be laying that transfer right back down on top of this. We don't want it to smudge or budge. These chalk pastes are smudge proof and budge proof once they're dry, which means that if you want to remove it, you can, but you have to wet it down and scrape it off. Okay, I'm just going to lay this transfer back down where it was. Not really touching the area that I just chalked, but I do want to make sure that I don't have any air bubbles in the transfer where I'm laying it back down. And I do feel a wrinkle right there. So I'm just going to smooth it down right there. Get that wrinkle out. Okay, my next color is going to be one of our new colors. It's called Pumpkin. It's called Hey Pumpkin. Brand new. It reminds me of a mustard color. Really pretty. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use something called my detail tool. This is a tool that has a small squeegee on the end and then a sharp point on the other end so that you can use it to remove things if you want to or clean things up. But since this is kind of a small area, I'm going to use this detail tool just to get it right where I want it in between these lines. I'm going to go a little slowly here because I don't want it to go into areas where I've either already chalked or will be chalking. And actually this design has a lot of small spaces and lines, so I'll probably be cleaning out this detail tool and using it again, or using my cut up squeegee because it is a smaller surface area. Now with the paste and peel method, I do feel an air bubble right there. You are going to apply some of the paste, but if I were to wait until I had all the paste applied to this, it would dry before I could peel it up, before I finished. And so therefore it would stick on top of the transfer and it wouldn't stay on the surface below. So you don't have to do it after every color, but you do want to do it periodically when you see your paste is starting to dry, or maybe if you've done a couple colors. I do feel a little air bubble right there. I want to try and get that out. Right there. And I did feel one right here too. Okay. So those may be bleeding a little bit because they did fill air bubbles. But I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and peel that up and check. And maybe if it is an air bubble, maybe I can correct it before it gets too far. Let's just check it out. Yeah, so it did bleed a little bit right in here where I felt an air bubble, and right in here. Okay, so I've cleaned it up a little bit. I might as well go ahead and dry this. And I can also clean it up again once it dries. Colors look nice together though, guys. What do you guys think of those fall colors? So we have two that are pretty similar. One is called Hey Pumpkin, and then this other one is called Saffron. And they're pretty similar in colors, but they are different shades. And those are two of our newest colors, along with our cherry and our moss. Okay, so let me see if I can get this down again without any air bubbles. Oh, it's got a bunch of paste there. Okay, so that's another thing to consider when you lift these up. If you have your transfer already pasted with paste on it, see how I got it down here? Try to accommodate for that so that it doesn't smear. Okay. So I'm going to try and get some of that up right now with a water wipe, and we'll continue talking. All right. Next, I'm going to go ahead and do these little circles around the outside edge. We're going to use the cherry, which is one of our new custom colors. for the October or autumn release. Using my detail tool again. Just applying it right on top of that silk screen. So this transfer has a lot of detail to it, but don't let that intimidate you. You can clean some up if you make mistakes. You can make corrections. And depending on your surface, this one should be pretty forgiving because it is a plexiglass surface. So keep that in mind. If you're on wood, it might not be as forgiving unless you waxed it. Next, let's try doing some of our inside of our flower. Let's do it with this copper. It's a shimmer copper. I'm going to do just this center piece of the flower. First layer of petals. Okay, next color, let's go on back onto the purple, the Shimmer Plum. Just kind of alternating some of these colors. That was a lot right there. Let's see. What colors would you guys use if you were doing this mandala? What colors would you use? Would you be thinking of monochromatic colors like black and white, or would you be thinking of bright colors? This would be pretty all in bright Christmas colors too, I think. This is more a fall themed mandala or floral medallion. But I could see it with all kinds. Just think about it in springtime. I think it would be all different colors. All the brights, that'd be pretty. So this one is a little time consuming just because of all the different color choices I'm making. If you wanted to do it all one color and be done, you certainly can. You could do it right away. Just get it all done. One color. Got two more little flowers to do. It's kind of like watercoloring almost. But these pastes are really easy to use. They're water soluble, so you can wash them out if they get on your clothes. They're non-toxic, and you can even let your kids use them. They're a lot of fun. I'm going to do one more color. I think I'm going to do the red again. Around the outside. And then I'll go ahead and pull this up and release that paste. And there's a lot of different techniques you could use to color this. If you wanted to do like an ombre effect, You could start off with one color and blend it down like dark to light and make it kind of a gradient effect. That'd be one technique. I think that would be very pretty on this, especially in the pretty pink and blue pastel colors or brights. I think that would be great. Make sure you get all that white silk screen covered up with color, because that completes the design. That means you've got the whole design on there. Got 2 more to go. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and pull that up. Okay, let's see what it's looking like, guys. Pretty nice. Nice, yeah. I do have a couple little spots. And I'm not sure whether they're better being cleaned off wet or dry. Probably doesn't matter on this plexiglass, whoops. Except for right there. Okay, I'm gonna dry it just to make sure that doesn't get disturbed when we put it back down. What's for dinner tonight, guys? Anything fun? Are you guys back in the cooking mood after a weekend of snacking and eating out and doing quick meals? Okay, so I'm looking and I see a little bit of red that got skipped here and a little bit of purple that skipped there. So, and I also put this down again when I shouldn't have. So a little bit of red right here. No, it was red down here, I think. Down here. And purple right there. Purple right there. Okay. Good thing I have a lot of wet wipes available. Okay, so the next part is going to be green. We're going to use our moss. And place that down. I think I'm going to go ahead and clean up. Well, I don't need to clean it. I can use a bigger squeegee and just apply it right over the top there. See how much easier this is when you have a bigger area to work with or using one color? It's much easier. Sometimes the silk screens have a little bit of distressing in them, so they may have some bumps and spots where they wanted it to look distressed, like maybe there's a pattern in the leaves. So don't worry about those. They're meant to look that way. Okay. Now let's try to do, we haven't used this one yet. Let's try this one. This one is the saffron. So I'm wiping off my small squeegee, getting all that green paste off. I'm gonna try to use what's in the lid, just so I don't waste. Okay. Now I think I'm going to do some more purples. So I'm going to do the purple swirls and designs. This purple is a little bit thicker than the other ones. It's an older paste. And I could have added more water to it to make it looser, but I didn't. But I could have and I should have. Swirls. Here's a swirl. Sometimes I feel like my grandkids are neater than I am with this. They were over this weekend and they did some chalking with me. They loved it. They had such a great time. I loved having them here. And of course, I missed them bunches today. Just like 2 more swirls. So how's the weather been with you guys? Have you guys been having, we had such hot weather all week long. So today when the rains busted loose, it was just like, oh, thank you, thank you. Finally some water. Water in the area. The plants are so thankful. I'm thankful. It was a great day to get some water. Okay. Let's go ahead and peel this up a little bit. Okay, so some of my purple isn't staying down because it is a little dry. But it also kind of gives it that rustic look, a more translucent look. So I'm going to lay this down and I'll pull the bottom up. Now this is sticking pretty good. It could have been fuzzed a little more. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, start with the corners, and I'm going to pull towards the center so that I'm not stretching it out of shape at an angle. Let this dry for just a second. Just kind of getting some of the extra paste off as I go. Let's see. Okay, and lay this down again. We're getting there, guys. This one is a lot of detail. Smoothing down anywhere I'm going to paste. Anywhere I'm going to apply chalk, I want to make sure there's not any bubbles. Okay. So once again, the word of the night is, to get the supply list, is medallion. Medallion is the word for tonight. Let's do these flowers red this time, these little florals. This red is smooth as butter. Just gliding right on. So again, making sure all my white areas are covered. Try to remove some of that excess paste if you can. It'll help it dry faster. It'll look more consistent on your finished project. And just overall, you're conserving paste and not wasting it. Okay, there's my red. Let's do the gold again. I like that shimmer gold, the copper. I think I'm actually gonna do all the rest of this in copper. Little dot right there, and I just pasted over some of my yellow, but that's okay. A little dot right there. Okay, and I do see where I need to touch up the purple a little bit in a couple places. There's one up here, right there. Okay, let's peel it off. Let's see what it looks like, guys. Here it goes. So I'm going to try and work my way towards the center. The red really came out good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I don't want this to stick to each other itself, I mean. So I'm just going to kind of stick it to my table here. And I want to kind of squirt my hands a little bit and wipe them up. And then I'll show you our fall medallion. Okay. So a couple dots here. So I may need to do a little bit of cleanup. Actually, it looks pretty good. Some yellow right there. Okay, guys, here it is. And I think I would hang it, well, the hangers do go this way, but because of the flourish down here, the leaf, I would hang it like this, but here it is. Pretty nice. I think maybe it could have gone up a little bit, maybe not. But here's her project. Do you guys like the colors? See this way, here it is. Pretty, I think I like it. Very nice. Now if I wanted to, I could even add stuff to the corner, like little pumpkins or hello fall, something, some words to put on it, and I may just do that, just to fill it up a little bit more. So if you guys like this, please give it a heart. Feel free to sprinkle this out to your friends, let people know that it's here. I appreciate you guys watching so much, and I hope you join me again tomorrow night for another craft. Thank you. Bye.